So former Knick and New York native Precious Achiuwa finally spoke his truth on how his second season with the Knicks didn't necessarily go the way he planned. He not only started off that year with the injury, but the Knicks just welcomed Mikal Bridges as well as Karl-Anthony Towns to the team, and they were still trying to figure out what kind of bench unit works with those players. Precious was able to shine in his first season when Julius Randle had went out with that shoulder injury, and within that same stretch of time, Isaiah Hartenstein was able to prove his value and get a large contract from OKC. So Tom Thibodeau doesn't necessarily play bench guys like that unless he's forced to, and we've seen it play out in last year's conference finals against the Indiana Pacers in games 3 and 4. The Knicks last season were ranked number 30th when it comes to bench minutes and points. But you guys check out what Precious had to say, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
I don't think we had a bad bench. You could never say the bench is not good if you don't play the bench. How are you supposed to know that? Last year, it was a lot going on. You have a lot of moving parts to the team, especially coming off a season when we had a lot of success for the first time in a long time. And then you come in with a lot of moving parts. And you just gotta kind of like adjust. And then also stay professional. I started the season, I was hurt. Then I came back, got back into the lineup, and things happened along the way where I wasn't playing at all. But we were having success. So it was a lot of things that happened that I wasn't expecting. You just got to continue to be professional.
You know, when this season had first started out under Mike Brown, Josh Hart was going through a similar phase. And who knows, maybe unlike Thibs, he made the quick adjustment, listened to some of the personnel, and ended up starting Josh Hart. That was one of the things James Dolan in his interview has spoke about Thibs not being as collaborative. But when you're a journeyman like Precious Achiuwa, just getting sat down in the doghouse, every minute, week to week, is important because more than likely, you're going to have to prove your value in the offseason. All this just adds to the level of anxiety to be a journeyman.
It wasn't easy knowing things that you're able to do to contribute to a team like that, especially if you just did it the year before and fast forward a year later. You're not even given an opportunity to do that, to help get success in that type of way. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth on what is a good bench and what is not a good bench. But you can't say something isn't working if you've never tried it. Everybody has an opinion. I'm sure they made a decision based on what that opinion is, and here we are.
Hey, it's a tough thing because Precious, he did contribute really well when Randle had went out with that injury. Just to be left in the doghouse the next season, and you're coming off an injury before the season even started. You're just trying to work your way back and not even given a chance to show what you could do with this new roster. It's hard to sit well with that. It always leaves us to wonder, even if the Knicks had Isaiah Hartenstein's bird rights, if he knew that Thibs was going to be the coach, would he actually return to the Knicks? Just knowing that it's a possibility that the minutes fluctuation might not be in his favor. That's another thing about Thibs having this reputation of not necessarily playing the bench unit. It would make it hard for Leon Rose to further recruit better role players. And in this positionalist basketball landscape that we're all in now, certain players don't fit that archetype, so it only adds on to the stresses of just not knowing your minutes, and then if you go out there, you might be out of position. Precious Achiuwa further elaborated on these dynamics right here.
First couple years in the league in Toronto, that's how I played. Mainly playing the 4 position, which is my natural position. And that's how I had a lot of success my first year in New York. Just the ball is able to move around a lot better. Guys are able to play the game with a sense of freedom better. Well, for me at least, I would say a better sense of freedom, instead of just being pigeonholed. You just never know. It's just the way the business is. But yeah, it was special for me to play in New York, and I'm never going to put it out and say I'm never coming back or I don't ever want to come back. Obviously, that's home for me. A kid that grew up in the city.
The Knicks definitely have come a long way of just having a constant rotation of different players coming in and out of the lineup from season to season. We Knicks fans in the past few seasons sort of become immune, but this used to be the normal dynamic taking place with the team from season to season. You have guys frustrated with their current role and position on the team, not necessarily even certain about their future with the team. And it's a hard position to be in. It's great to see Precious out of Queens just thriving out there in Sacramento. And for sure, we all felt that there was a lot left on the table if Thibs went to the bench more. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, everybody progressed. Precious even showed out in the matchup against the Knicks that happened down in Sacramento. But Mike Brown having that reputation as a coach that continuously gives guys opportunities coming off the bench, whether there's injuries or not, it's a good card for the Knicks to have in their back pocket going forward, because in this NBA parity era, having deep teams is a must.